Welcome everyone. Today is a special day. Today this is going to be the last session of our Apex Hours Dev program. I think past 3 weeks have been amazing. There's been a lot of learning, from both sides, from you guys as well, and we ourselves, all of the speakers, all the organizers have learned in the process. So thank you everyone. Good evening, good morning, based on the time zone that you're located in. Um, uh, uh, so without any further ado, I'd kind of want to hand this over to Amit, who will be taking off from me where he left off yesterday. Today's session is going to be a part two, which is a continuation of yesterday's session, where we were trying to learn about building Lightning Web components. Just last few words before I hand it over to Amit, that guys, for everyone, I would request that please don't treat this as a as an end of the program. Please treat this as a beginning of your new learning journey. uh, Probably we are just the stepping stones. There is a lot to learn and a lot to share. So continue your journey. Don't stop here. There are a lot of advanced topics on the Apex Hours channel, on free other documentation and blogs and channels available. So please use that. And like I said, we'll be more than happy to hear from you. If there is anything better that we can do next time onwards, when we run this program, we definitely try to incorporate that. So without taking any further time, Amit, over to you.
Thank you, Jigar, and welcome everyone and the last session of our Apex Day program. As Jigar said that this is not the last session for us, it is just beginning for your career or for your advanced development of your personality. So as Jigar mentioned, we are going to continue from the session that we left yesterday's session. So here we have got, I'm not going to read this slide. Uh, Here are a few rules that we need to make sure that you are muted. If you are not speaking, please don't share your mic or your webcam. If you have any questions, please feel free to put down into the Q&A window. And we have reserved some time at the end of the session to answer all of your questions. So here is the agenda for today that we are going to cover. And in our earlier session, we worked how we can create a Lightning component, how to call an Apex class and all. So here we are going to see how we can communicate between two different components which are related to each other and which are not related to each other. Then we will see how we can access the data in LWC. Here in this point, we are going to cover Lightning Data Services. Then we will see how we can expose our Lightning Web Components to use in different places like Lightning App Builders, record page, home page, or Lightning Communities. Then we will see how we can use navigation in Lightning Web Component, like if we have created a record and we wanted to navigate to detail page, we wanted to navigate to list view of a particular object, we can use with the help of navigation. And then we will see what question and answers we are getting. So let's start here. So for the communication of two different components, even if we saw in our earlier session, we have created a component and then we worked throughout the session in that component. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create some couple of more components, and we can see how those components are able to communicate with each other. And we will also see what @API property does in our Lightning Web component that we talked about yesterday. So to communicate, we have got two different ways. One is with the help of custom events that Salesforce does provide, and then we have got API property and API function. So that's what, if you see that in LWC, we have got two kind of communication. One is parent to child and one is child to parent. So first thing, we are going to cover child to parent, sorry, parent to child, and then we are going to cover child to parent. For parent to child, what we have is we have created a component called parent component, and inside that component we have got a child component. Now if we have some kind of properties here in the parent component, we wanted to send some value to our child component. How we can do that? We are changing some data or we are clicking on a button or on a parent component. We wanted to send some information to the child component. We can achieve with the help of two two things that we have got is one is API property and other one is API function. So how it works, this is our parent component. Inside parent component we have got a child component. Let's say that we have a child component. I will let you know what all things are here that we are using. This is an HTML component of this is HTML file of our parent component, where we need to pass some message from our parent component to the child component with the help of API property. And this is our JavaScript file that we have got with API function. So without further delay, let's quickly create few components and then we will start working with our what demo we are to here. So this is the first component that we just created. I'm going to close this. What we will do is we will quickly create a component. We will quickly create one component and we will say that parent component here. So as we saw even earlier in yesterday's session, it is automatically creating a web component and getting us this skeleton. So we have got this parent component. Let's quickly create a child component as well. We will say that child epic source. I will create here. So what we will do is we will create a child component. Inside child component, we are going to create a public property. So you can see that we have got child component. To create a public property, we discuss that we need to create a variable, and we will say that a message attribute that we are creating in the child component. And in our child component HTML file, we are just going to display that message. That's it. This is what we are going to do in the child component for now. Let's quickly deploy this component. And in the meanwhile, we can open our parent component. So we have got this parent component JavaScript file, and this is our HTML file. So to call a to call any component inside another component, what we have got is we just need to use C hyphen. C is a namespace. If you have got some different custom namespace inside your environment, you can use that. And after you will use C hyphen, and if you try to press Control space, you will see all the web components that are available here to you. You can use that. So this is what we are going to use, child fxr. So if you see the component that we created, child fxr is child, and then we have got a as a capital. That's why here we are getting in hyphen and then a small, and then for h is capital for ours. That is what we are getting here, h as small and hyphen before that, to meet the web standards that we discussed today. Sorry, yesterday. And now we have got a property called message. If you type here that property will be available. If you have not made that property as a public property, if you even you are trying to type, you will not be. If you are trying typing some at some few keywords of your variables, and then you are trying to get your attribute, you will not get here. So let's say that here I'm just passing here. I'm from parent component. That's it, and you just need to close like this. You no need to use this. If you are trying to use this, you are going to get errors while deployment. Now we have got these two things. What I will do is I'll just quickly deploy this, and we have got C colon parent apex hours. And to preview this, we are going to use the application, a lightning application that we created in our previous demo, that we are going to use in our environment. So let's quickly get back to our environment. This is our lightning environment where we were. We are going to remove this and we are going to say that C colon parent apex hours. And if you save this, successfully saved, click on preview. So it's taking time. Yep. So you can see that we have got some, we are able to see the message not completely. So what we can do is we can put this inside a division tag, and we can use some styling that we did yesterday. So we can say the class So even if you get back to a browser, you can see that we are able to pass whatever the message we are passing from our parent component to the child component. Now, if you wanted to assign or associate with some kind of variables, let's say that we have some properties associated into our parent component. So we can create here some properties, like let's say that I'm creating a private property here and I'm putting whatever the message I have got in child component. Whatever I'm passing here is I'm putting it here. And now to associate this, what we need to do is we need to say we have got a message attribute of child component. We wanted to pass, we wanted to associate with any attribute of our parent component. What we can see is we can find the attribute that we have got and just associate with that. So this is you can quickly associate with any properties that you have in your parent component. Now, if we have some kind of buttons available on our parent component, and based on the button click we are changing the parameter of this message. Let's see how the behavior will look like. So we have got lightning button, and let's say that we have label here, click me, and we are going to say value. On click, I'm just going to create a method here, handle click, that we saw yesterday as well. So here we have got handle click, and I'm just going to change the value here. I will say now we have got this. Let's deploy this parent component and see how it works. So as we know that this is a reactive property, whatever the value we are going to change, it is automatically going to change in this wherever we are using this parameter. And by using this parameter, we are associating this with the child component attribute that we have created here. And once it will be changing in the parent component, this from the JavaScript, it is going to reflect into our child component as well. So let's quickly get back to our browser, and if you try to refresh this, so you can see that now we are getting the message from a parent component, and if you click here, you can see that message has been quickly changed from whatever message we are providing in the JavaScript file of our parent component on the click of our JavaScript, sorry, on the click of our button. So this is the first way that you can communicate from the parent to the child. Now the other way, if you have, let's say that you are saying on the click of this button, you don't want to pass the variable in the child component and the child component attribute. You just want to call a method of your parent component. So what you can do is, for that we have got API function. So what we need to do is, inside child component, we need to define a function saying that API function. So we can say that child component. I'm just putting the name here. You can put a meaningful name here, and if you try to pass some variables, you can say here name. I'm just trying to pass a variable here, and then trying to say here, and even I'm just trying to change the value of a message, whatever the name we are sending from our parent component. Now we have created this API function. Let's quickly deploy this, and in the meantime, we will try to change in our parent component JavaScript file. As we are using here inside our parent component, the HTML markup of our child component, what we need to do is whenever we are working with Windows, we can say we have got some kind of window.document dot get element by ID. For here, what we have is we can say that this dot template. So we are saying that we wanted to refer only this component, and then we have got query selector to select a particular element inside our lightning component, and then we just need to put here whatever the child component syntax is. So what we are putting here is we are just fetching this particular portion only, and then we are putting inside the single quotes of our query selector, and we are saying that doing this, what it is going to return is this complete child component. And then now we have got this child component JavaScript method inside our sorry, this is a method inside our child component. We wanted to call this, what we can do is dot child component, and we wanted to pass some message because that this particular function receives a accepts a parameter that we are passing here. Now how it actually looks like if you compare with Apex, let's say that we have got an um, we have got a class account controller, and we are just creating an object here, and then inside that account we have got a method, let's say that get accounts. This is what we are doing is this particular portion is trying to create an object of our child component, and then this is calling a method of our child component. So let's quickly try to say here we are not now we are not binding this. Even we can try to remove this message from our child component. Why we are doing this? As we are passing a single message inside our method, and that attribute is being displayed inside our child component. And we can also try to put some kind of some kind of alert message here to see if our method is being invoked or not. So let's quickly try to deploy this. And we will deploy the parent as well. So here we have successfully deployed our component. We can quickly get back here and refresh this page. Now, as of now, we are getting nothing here. If you click here, you can see message changed, whatever the message we are sending, and this alert message is there inside child component. And once we click OK here, we can see we have got message changed here. So this is how you can communicate from parent to child. Now, if you wanted to communicate from child to parent, that means if you wanted to send some data from your child component to the parent component, how you can do that? For that, we have got custom event that are inbuilt provided by standard web standards. We have got a new class saying that custom event. We have to dispatch that from the child component, and then we need to handle the event in the parent component. So how we can do that is we need to first dispatch the event from a child component that we discussed. To dispatch the event, we have got this syntax that we are going to discuss each and every element in details while we are developing this code. And then we need to handle, and how we can handle that, we will also see that. So I think we don't have anything to discuss here. So we are going to use these two components only. We have a child component here. Let's quickly put a button here inside child components. What we are going to do is we are going to just put a button here, and we will say that child component. On click, we are going to say handle click. We have a method here on our inside our child component. On the click of this button, we are going to dispatch an event, and that event is going to handled by our parent component. So let's quickly create a method here, and to dispatch the event, what we have is, so this is the syntax for dispatching an event. How we can dispatch is, first thing that we have to do is create an object of custom event. This accept two, 3 parameters. First is the name of your event. So here you can see that I have got event, so I can say button click, and then here I have got detail. This is the detail is going to hold the key information whatever you are trying to send from your child component. So let's say that I'm trying to send some kind of record IDs to my parent object, or I wanted to send some kind of secret message to my parent component, and by which we wanted to perform some kind of calculation based on our Apex classes or client-side JavaScript class. So detail is going to hold all the information that you wanted to send, and we can send multiple information here. That's why we are going to say here, we are going to say key, and inside key we are going to say 001 and whatever the ID of an account I wanted to send. And let's say that I have got value. So let's say that we have got apex hours. So what here we are trying to do is we are trying to send multiple values from our child component to our parent component. And why we are taking this example, because we might send a single value or we might send a multiple values. So in real time, uh, most of the cases we have to send the multiple values. That's why we are using here multiple values. And even if you wanted to send a single value, what you can do is, instead of putting like this detail colon and this a JSON object, if you see here, and if you try to structurize is, it is what it is, nothing a JSON object. We have got a key and whatever the value for that key is, another key and the value for that key. If you don't want to use this value, you have got a simple ID, you can use like this. If you have a single value, just go with this syntax details and then send this. We have multiple values, we are going with this. And then we have got the syntax for dispatch event. This is the line that is saying that dispatch event, the existing method of web standards that is used to dispatch an event. If we are commenting this line and we are not using this particular line, our event is not going to be dispatched to our parent component. So for this, we just need to use this and then deploy the source to our org. And in the meantime, how to handle this event, let's just copy the name of our custom event. We have got this, and go to our parent component. As you can see that we are using this component inside our parent component. What was the name of our event that we just created? Was button click. So before we see how we can handle it, if you see all the standard events that we have got on click, on can play, and we have got on double click, on scroll, on select, on volume change. These are all standard browser events provided by browsers to us. So what we can do is, as the name of our event is button click, we just need to put on before the name of our event, and we are good to handle our component in our parent inside our parent component. So as we have created the event name button click, we're just putting on button click, and we have to put we can say that handle event, a JavaScript class for our parent component. This is a method of our JavaScript class. So we just need to put here, and to get the event, we just need to pass a parameter called event here. You can change the name of your parameter. And why we are passing this parameter? To get what is the source for that event, which is actually responsible for calling this method. That's why we are putting event here. Now to get the values, let's say that we said here key. What we need to do is event dot, we have got a detail parameter here. that is detail. Sorry, this is also detail. I've got a detail here, and under that detail we have got key. So we are going to say the detail dot key, and then we wanted to get some other value. We have got here value, and this is also value because we wanted to get the value. Now if you wanted to change this, the value of this message attribute, what we can do is this dot message equal to this dot sorry, we have got key as a local variable, so we can say that key here, and we are going to say value. Now we are good to deploy this component as well. Okay, it is taking too much time to deploy. I think I'm going to cancel this. Let's try to deploy this component again. Now we're just going to deploy our parent component. So before we deploy this, just wanted to make sure that the typo is correct, because I do a lot of typos. Yes, sorry guys, my internet connectivity is a bit low. I'm just going to change my connection and I will right back.
Hey, sorry guys, apologies for the technical glitch. We will resume back soon. So just hold on.
I'm sorry guys for the technical glitch that had just happened. Azika, can you confirm if you are able to see my screen?
Yep, I can see your screen.
Cool. So I'm just trying to deploy my parent component into the our environment so that we can see demo. Okay, guys. So it took some time, but looks like we deployed this. So let's quickly get back to our browser console here, and we'll try to refresh. This time we should be able to see two different buttons here. One is for child component and another is for parent component. So let's quickly just click on this parent component first. We have got this message, whatever message we are sending from our parent component, and from the child component, what we just did. Okay, why we are not getting any output here? So the reason is that we are just we are concatenating whatever the output we are getting here, but we are not displaying this message anywhere in our parent component. That's why if you see that our parent component is completely blank, we are not using that variable inside our parent component. Even we did not try to put any kind of alert, so we'll just quickly use window.console.log and we will see what we are getting here is. So I'm just trying to deploy this code, and in the meanwhile, we will see what we have got inside in our PPT. So for the events, we have got two more attributes that we can use. Is one is bubbles, and that is true, and then one is composed. But these are pretty much advanced concepts, so we are not covering these as a part of this session. But you can have a look. We will share some links where you have got you will get the complete information about these two, when we should use, and what is the use of these two attributes while using the events. And before we go ahead, one thing that I would like to say is, don't send any kind of S object records from this. Let's say that you have got a full contact record and you wanted to send as a detail here. There is no problem. You will not get any kind of issues. Even you will get the complete record inside your parent component controller method as well. But the thing is that those are read only. Again, if you wanted to modify those records, you will not be able to modify that. That's why we are just saying that Salesforce, as a best practice, says that just send only the primitive data types like id, integer, or decimal, or double you wanted to send, or some kind of strings. So we have got this, and then we have got how we can access the data from database into LWC. As the first method, we already saw how we can access with the help of our Apex class, and even we tried to iterating some contact list that we are getting from our database server. The second thing that we are going to work today is how we can use Lightning Data Service. So before we go ahead for the demo, because we have the next slide as a demo here, what Lightning Data Service is, it works as a standard controller for a Lightning component, and it only works for a single record. If you wanted to edit a record based on a record ID, you just need to provide a record ID, and you will see the complete form available for you in edit mode. If you wanted to display the record in a read-only format, you can use that. We will see all the modes that are available for us. And even if you wanted to create a record and you just wanted to specify some fields, you just need to specify what fields you needed there in the form, and Salesforce is going to generate a form for you. So and that's what Lightning Data Services are. And then again, we have got a demo here. Before we go ahead, we saw this successfully deployed here. So let's quickly see inside our browser. So if we click here in the child component, now you can see that whatever the message we are sending from our child component, we are getting inside our console. So and that was just a demo about how event works. And if we talk about LDS, let's quickly create a component. We are going to create, and we'll say that LDS demo. And for that, there is a tag, standard tags available out of box by Salesforce, which is, we can say, let me quickly get back the HTML file first. Again, we are going to use here division just to provide some kind of a margin all around. So here we have got a tag that is lightning record form. So you have got lightning record edit form, lightning record view form, but I'll suggest don't go with these two. We have got lightning record form which works, as we can say that, which is combination of both lightning record view form and lightning record edit form. So just need this. Then we have got, let's say that we have got record ID. If you wanted to view the existing records or existing data of a particular record, you can use this record ID. If you don't want it to, that means if you wanted to create a record, you just need to specify what object API name is. Let's say that we wanted to specify account. Then you have got layout type, what layout actually you wanted to access. The valid values are full or compact. Full means you will get the complete fields for that layout, whatever the layout you are using. For the compact means whatever the fields that are added on the compact layouts will be available as an input. We are using layout as a full, and you have got columns, like up to which fields or number of fields that you wanted to display in a single column. Let's say that we want to display 2 fields, and then this is it for you. By using only this tag, what you are going to do is you will get a complete form for the account object for creating an account record. So you'll just deploy this, and in the meantime it will take some time to deploy. You might be thinking that if there is some kind of error message or there is some kind of on success we wanted to override, how we can do that. So for that we have, let's suppose that you wanted to capture if there is any kind of error while we are submitting this record for the, okay, I think we have got this error that is saying this is because of a duplicate component that we have gotten. So I'm just going to create a new component and we'll say LDS Pixars, because I might have created a component with the same name earlier for a demo. And that's why it is getting some errors. We're going to use this and try to deploy this. So what we are saying is, let's say that we have got some kind of error while using this record form, how we can capture that. For that, we have got a standard method. Let's say that on error, you just need to use that and say, you can say handle error. You have got, you wanted to capture some success or failure. You can say you have got on success. You can say handle success. You wanted to see if the form has been submitted. You clicked on submit button or not. We have got on submit. That is also an standard event, and we can say that handle submit. So these are 3 out of box method available for us that we can use, and then we can put all these methods here. So as we said, we defined these 3 methods. One is for error, second one is for success, and then third one is for submitting a record, either we have submitted or not. And we can quickly put some kind of error here, sorry, alert. We can say error occurred. If there is any error, we can say here form submitted, record created. So these are the 3 out of box methods available for you. You wanted to override the standard behavior of your lightning data service, that is lightning record form. You can use that. And here we have, I think we forgot one thing that is also important, that is mode. In which mode we wanted to display our record form, either it is edit, or we wanted to say it is a view, or it is a read only. So these are some acceptable that are provided by Salesforce. Other than if you are providing any other mode that is not acceptable by Salesforce, you are going to get error. So here we are going to say edit, and we are going to save it, and now it has been successfully deployed. So as it has been deployed, again we have made some changes. This is on submit, it should be on submit. Cool. Now let's quickly try to deploy it again, and as we already deployed the previous version of our component, we are going to see the output how it looks like. So we are again here inside our developer console. We are going to comment out this component. I'm going to use, say that C colon LDS, what was the name? That is LDS Apex hours. So if we try to save it, we have saved, and whenever we are making any changes in the application, and if that application is there, it is automatically going to refresh, and we are going to see the updated output, whatever we have put inside our application. Okay, so if you see guys here, we have got a complete form, and the columns that we specified were two. That's why we are getting two name here, like two column. One is name, and one another is text type. And what I think I got, my browser got freeze. Yep. Let me refresh it again. So I'm really sorry, guys. Just got a very bad connectivity today. So if you can see that we have got a full form here with two buttons. One is cancel, and we have got one is save. So if we provide the required value for the account record, whatever we have, and we click on save here, so we should be able to get we should be able to save the record. But as I told you that I've got a very bad connectivity, I'm just now going to click on this save button, and we will change here. Even if you see that we just tried to click on save button, and we have got that error, and still my browser again got frozen. So we can just change here to compact instead of full, so that we can get very less number of fields there, and we'll try again here. So this is how you can just quickly use Lightning Data Services to create. And for the create, if you are not providing any kind of record ID, just putting more edit, you will see the record in an edit form. And if you are providing some kind of record ID, what it is going to show is whatever the value for that field is there, it is also going to automatically populate it. And once you are making any changes, clicking on save button, it is going to update the field, update the values for those fields. One thing that we have is we will see two more things once we are working how we can expose our Lightning Web Components with the different Lightning UIs like Lightning App Builder, home page, record page, or some other pages that some other place that are available in Lightning. So let's quickly get back to our presentation. Yep. Next thing is that how we can use in our throughout the demo, either we saw yesterday or we today, whatever we have seen, we have got we are able to see that output of our Lightning Web Component with the help of a Lightning application. What if we wanted to use those Lightning Web Component inside the home page of our any Lightning application, or a record page? Let's say that I'm inside the account detail page. I wanted to display the inform I wanted to put my component there, which is actually for creating a contact for that particular record for that particular account. How we can do that? We wanted to put our Lightning component inside app, any Lightning application, or inside a mobile layout. How we can do that? Wanted to create a custom tab with the help of our Lightning component, and then if you wanted to use inside our Lightning flow. So these are the few places you can also use your Lightning component inside your communities as well. So how we can define that? So if we while we were talking about the structure of our Lightning Web Component, we saw that we got three files. One is meta file that we did not discuss till now, but for with every component we have got this file. What this file does is this file is actually responsible for exposing our Lightning Web Component to the Lightning App Builder. And when we say Lightning App Builder, that means whatever the places that we just discussed. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we have got this is exposed element inside our meta file. We need to make this false, make this true from false, because by default it is false. We have got one more attribute, that is master label. Let's say that if you wanted to say that LDS demo, and I'm say that apex hours here in the bracket. So what it will do is whenever you are trying to find this component, now you will find your component by this name. This label is going to display instead of LDS apex hours. What we need to do is now we have made this component as exposed. Our Lightning App Builder can use, but where we can use, we need to define the targets for that. So for that we have got targets. Targets can be multiple places. That is why we have got a plural label here. And then inside that target, we need to define multiple target wherever we wanted to use. So to use inside Lightning record page, we have got Lightning and double underscore record page. For the app page, that is Lightning double underscore app page. And then we have got home page. And if you talk about communities, we have got these two tags for community. But make sure that you are using a single targets attribute, and inside that you are providing all the target element inside that targets. So here it is why we are using for communities. If you wanted to use as a custom tab, you can provide the target for custom tab, that is lightning underscore underscore tab, and for the flow it is lightning underscore underscore flow screen. So these are the few places where you can do that. Now before we deploy this, and if you try to find out this application inside our lightning record page, sorry, this component, will we be able to see that? Let's quickly find out. So we are here in our developer console. I'm just quickly going to go to our Salesforce setup. So as we exposed, and we are just going to switch to lightning. Even if you see that we expose for every place where we wanted to use, you can use inside our app page, home page. We wanted to use inside our communities, we can use. Wanted to create some tab, we can create, or some record page as well. So if we get back here and we say we have got app builder, lightning app builder, this is actually responsible for creating a pages in lightning or creating a record page. That's what I'm going to do here is I've got a count record page. I'm going to edit this, and once I will edit this, I will be taken into the lightning environment by default, and the UI will be of lightning. So we are here in lightning, so you can see that this is our home page. And if you try to add our component here, or we wanted to add our component inside our record page or inside our app page, what we need to do is we just need to go to our gear icon, click on edit page, and it will take us to the builder and the app builder edit screen, whatever the screen we have got. So if you see that we have got this edit screen now, and whatever the elements are available here, we will be able to see in a file. And now you can see that all the elements are loading. If I go here, and the component that I renamed it LDS Apex hours, if I try to find here, I'm not able to find that component here as of now. Now if we get back here in the component, try to refresh this, try to deploy this page into our environment, and we'll see how it will work. And we will be able to see our component, and the label of our component will be LDS demo Apex hours. So let's quickly see, wait for a minute, I think, and then we will be good to go. In the meantime, okay, we just got it deployed. Even before we go ahead, I think we closed our application, no problem. We can quickly get back to our edit page as well, and we will also see, let's quickly close this, we don't want to open different windows. So if we go to developer console, I think, okay, this is the one I don't want to go. Close this. I will refresh this. Now if you see, we have got custom and we have got custom manage. These components will be available if you have installed any manage package, and if you try to use those components that are those components are exposed with the help of meta file, that might be your R component or LWC. So if you see that now we have got LDS demo Apex hours, and if you drag and drop here, we will get that component output here even as a preview, or we can just quickly save it. You can see changes saved. We can get back to our home page and see what we are getting on that component. So this is how you can quickly expose. We have got so many things even in the meta file. We're not going to cover, but we will quickly walk you through what those are there on that meta file. So this is just for the targets. Now if you wanted to tell, or if you wanted to restrict to use your component for few objects, how you can do that. So for that you have got target config. We are not going to cover more into that, and then we just need to define targets here, and under this we can say that target object, I think that is the one. Not sure what syntax is there, that's why we are not going to use here, but you just need to provide target config. That means where you wanted to make some configuration. Let's that you wanted to say inside the target, inside your target lightning record page, you just wanted to use inside account only. If you put this kind of configuration or account contact opportunity, what it will do is whatever the object you are defining here, only those inside those objects you will be able to use your component for this record base. And that is what here we can restrict with the help of those, and even we can expose some kind of properties, public properties from our lightning component to our lightning app builder. That is we are not going to cover here. So if we get back here again, we have got so much time to cover. So if you see here, this time I think again we have got the full layout, but if you see the output of that LDS is here, we have got account name, phone, and we and the best thing for this LDS is whatever the lookup fields are there, those will be present as lookup. If you have got some kind of multi-pick list fields, those will be present as multi-pick list. If you have got some kind of pick list fields, all those fields will be available as pick list. You no need to create a new custom object for that, and sorry, new custom component for that, and then you need to put down there inside your lightning component, as we usually used to do whenever we are developing our custom UI. And whatever the styling CSS is there, it is going to inherit from your themes, whatever the theme that you have defined. So this is it for this exposing our component or using our component inside different UI. We just saw inside our home page. If you wanted to try it, you can just go to any record page of your object, because we did not restrict it at object level. Just edit the page and try to find out your component, and your component will be there. Wanted to you have some kind of communities you wanted to try there, you can try as well. For creating the lightning tabs, you can also try out how to create a tab, and creating a tab we already covered in our previous sessions, that was for admins. So now let's get back to our presentation. What we have next is how to do the navigation from one component to another component. So navigation is also an important topic of lightning web component, because inside our component we have got different library. Inside our lightning web component we have a complete different library. For this, what we need to do is we need to follow three steps. One is we need to import the method from lightning navigation library, and the method name is navigation mix in. And inside this method we will be getting two method, one is navigate and other one is generate URL. We are mainly going to focus on navigate today. And then again, what we need to do is we need to wrap this method inside for our lightning for our client side database class, to make sure that the API, whatever the methods that we have got inside this API, that are available to our local class. If we don't wrap if we don't do this, that we will see while we are developing our JavaScript class, we will not be able to use navigation inside lightning component. And one more thing about navigation is we cannot use lightning navigation if we are using our lightning component inside a web page, or if we are using our lightning component inside a lightning application. So these are the limitations of lightning navigation. So let's quickly see how we can do that. This is a very simple example of navigating for navigating a object record detail page. So here if you see, we are saying that standard record page, and we have to provide some kind of attributes, what record IDs, Obviously, if you wanted to navigate into the detail page of any record ID, we have to use record ID. We are going to hard code here for now. Object API name, this is an optional, because if you have got record ID, it is going to fetch the object from the backend. And this action name we need to set here. Either we wanted to set as a view, we wanted to create a new record, or we wanted to do different things with the actions. We wanted to navigate into a home page or list view. All we can provide here in action. Now let's quickly see what we have got here. For this, we are quickly going to create a new component again, and we will say that is navigation apex hours. And let's quickly close this. As it is taking time for creating a new component, we can use this component as well for the navigation. And then we already have a demo setup for this. We can see how navigation works. So if we talk here, if we talk about this, first thing that we talk is we need to import navigation. So we have got this. So this is the library that we need to navigate with the help of our import statement that we saw yesterday, how we can import any Apex class or some other libraries. And this is the standard method provided inside this navigation library. And next step that we say that we need to wrap up this navigation in our local class, that is client side class, to make sure that the API of our the APIs is available for this method. And then let's say that we are going to say navigate to record detail page. This is a method which we are going to call from a button click, and then that is going to navigate into a record detail page. So for that, what we can say is, so if you see here, this is a syntax for navigating from one component to different components. And yeah, one more thing that we need to keep in mind is, in Lightning Web Component, we cannot navigate from one Lightning Web Component to another Lightning Web Component. So here, if you see that here, we wanted to navigate to standard object, where we wanted to navigate. Either we wanted to navigate to home page, we wanted to create a new record, or we wanted to go to the list view. So for example, we wanted to go to the home page of an record, and here we need to provide the object, the API name of our object. So if you wanted to go to account here, we can account and provide account here. We have contact. Let's say that we have a custom object called book. We can use that. We have custom object called students. We can use that as well. So whatever the API name of your object is there, you just need to provide the API name. You have you wanted to navigate to some other things, some other, like you wanted to navigate to a record page. You have the syntaxes that we just saw. Again, a type, what we need to define is what is the type. Type identifies where we wanted to, what is the target of our navigation. So here, if you see that, that is a standard object page. Here, if you see that the target of our navigation is Lightning record page, that means we wanted to navigate into the record page. And again, the action, the attributes for that component has been, that navigation has been changed. Even if you wanted to navigate, we have got different. Even if you wanted to navigate to a relationship, for example, you are inside a Lightning account page, you wanted to navigate to the related contact records, what all contact records are related to that account, you can use this. And the only thing that you need to make keep in mind is make sure that you are putting the correct type, the correct target of your navigation, and then make sure what attributes you are putting, what are all the required attributes. From where you will get all these things, you will be getting all the links for this navigation, or for the record types, or whatever you wanted to. You need to study for the navigation. All the links you will be getting inside our blog page. So I'm just going to comment out this because this is really not working and freezing our browser. So we just need to use a lightning button here. And we'll say that navigate. On the click of this, what we wanted to call is that we have got a method. Hmm, this is the name of our method. Navigate to record detail page. But that is not record detail page, so we can change it. Navigate to object page. And let's try to deploy. Hopefully this time it will not take much time. As in LWC, we have got different things that LWC is very wider topic, or it has got different concepts that we cannot cover in today's session. But we tried most of important, what are the important topics are there for Lightning Web Components. So we have got some errors without any kind of error message. Let's quickly see. I just tried to remove this. We might have, okay, this. I think we put the code inside wrong HTML file. We just need to go to this HTML file. This is what our HTML file is. And we need to replace whatever code we have written inside this LDS demo. So now let's try to deploy this again. So as we were saying that LWC has many concepts that we cannot cover, but yep, we have covered most of the things. We have covered how to call Apex classes with the help of wire method and imperative way, and then we have seen how we can use Lightning data services. And Lightning data services only works for a single record that we need to make sure. And then we have seen how to work with navigation, what are all the properties, and the most important concepts of our Lightning Web Component, which is events, that we also covered. So now if you can see that we have got successfully deployed our component, we're going to refresh this page. Now this time we should not be able to get the browser freeze error. So as you can see this, we have got that button that is navigate. If you click here, we are here on the account homepage, and we are able to see all the accounts that we created or that are available here in our environment. And again, if you wanted to change this because this is taking too much time, but we can try to see one. Create a new record. That is the same thing we just need to use here. And instead of home, we just need to provide new here, and it will pop up a new window for us. So we just need to use here inside our navigate. We are just going to use create a new record method, what we just created. Let's go to home page here, and I will refresh this page so that we can get the refresh component. If you click on this button, it should pop up a new window for us to create a new account record. What happened? Yep, you can see here we've got a new window for creating a new account record, and if we try to provide all the required values that an account should have, we've got few more record fields here, and save it. We should be able to now navigate to the account detail record. So with this, we conclude our today's session, and I'm sorry guys for the technical glitches that happened today. So what to do next here is we have got a blog post that is events in Salesforce published by Amit Chaudhary, and then we have got a video play with the events in Lightning Web Component, and then there is a Lightning module as well, build Lightning Web Components. And all the best for your future endeavors and for your careers who are looking for your Salesforce development, and the people who are already in Salesforce development and wanted to enhance their skills. From where, even if you wanted to learn more about Lightning Web Component, we have got a new course there in Udemy. So if you are interested and wanted to take the course, you can reach me out on the given channels, and I will provide you a code which will give you some kind of discounts that will be up to 95% or something. And then we've got assignment for day 13. We need to create contact component. What this component should do is take the input from a user, and the input should contain first name, last name, email, phone, and title. And there should be a button for creating a contact. This is not we are going to do with Lightning data services. We need to use a custom component for creating that. There should be 5 input fields where users need to input these values, and once the record is created, navigate to contact detail page. So this is your assignment for the day. And then after you are done with how you can share your credentials to us, and what you all need to do so that we don't get any kind of verification code while we are trying to access your environments is you just need to add below IP ranges at a profile level. For that, navigate to setup, and then find profiles, go to system administrator profile. I hope everyone's profile should be this, and if your profile is different, go to that profile and add this login IP ranges. For the start IP ranges, add this 4 times 0 separated with a dot, and then for the end IP ranges, add this IPs, that is 4 times 255 separated with a dot. And once you have completed, send your credentials to this email ID, and we will have a look. And also do notify us via tweet by mentioning as Apex Hours and @AmitSFDC. And we have also some other Twitter handles, you can use those as well. And with this, I think we've got a program announcement for you, which is, as most of the people were asking about the interviews related questions, we are we have a new initiative for you, that is a mock interview for the students. And even we are also inviting other professionals who are there. For this, what you need to do is just
Amit, thank you for that quick rundown of Lightning Web Components. Of course, a very exhaustive topic and very difficult to cover in 2 days, but I think you did a great job. So thank you for that. Um, there is one question that just came up in the chat window, which says, if we hardcode the namespace in the component, how can we move the component from dev to packaging, or uh, as both dev and packaging orgs will have different namespaces. You just want to clarify this doubt, or you want to share your thoughts on this particular comment that is made in the chat window right now?
yes, yes, sure, sure. So for this, what we can do is, so as you've seen, if you're talking about hard coding the namespaces at a JavaScript level, we have got different kind of mm, like we have got different kind of approaches for that. We can create some variables, prepare your component there, and then use that inside JavaScript where you want it to use. And if you're talking about using a namespace inside any Lightning component, that we have used child component inside a parent component. So for that, what I'll suggest is develop your whatever the components that you are developing inside your development org. Don't use any kind of namespace there. Push those into the packaging org. Use your custom names there, whatever the namespace you have got. I'm sure you will not be having a lot of components which you are using inside multiple components. You might be having max to max 10 to 15 components, and you can easily make the changes there. And then you can prepare your manage package, and then it's upload it to your app exchange, because this concept of namespacing is indirectly or directly related to app exchange development. So the better way is to use or edit your components inside your packaging environments for using namespaces.
Okay, perfect. I think we uh, we've already short up our time, so I'll probably not take any more questions. I know it's the last day, but although we're not going to be meeting every day through the sessions, but we will still be uh, open to answering your questions on the website. So you can go to the respective blog post of the respective session and post your questions there. We've uploaded the recording for session 7 yesterday, and I think the remaining ones will follow shortly. So stay tuned. Last date for submitting the assignment is 15th of March. So guys, you have enough time. Make the best use of this time, and start this learning journey. Uh, Before I kind of call it a day, I just want to take this opportunity to thank the complete Apex Hours Dev speaker team. I think they've been phenomenal. So Amit Singh, Purushottam Chaudhary, Purushottam Baigade, uh, Saket Joshi, Jayesh Tejwani, and our supporter and flag bearer Amit Chaudhary. I think thank you so much. It's kind of difficult to be there every day while you're a working professional, but I think there was equal enthusiasm for everybody, and everybody's so committed. So thank you once again, and a big thank you to the to all the attendees. You kind of stuck by us, and in fact, it was for some of you guys who kind of inspired us and requested us, saying that why don't you do this. So thank you for all those people who kind of gave us this idea and motivated us to bring this course to you. The course will be available as a recording on our YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are all available through the social media as well, all the speakers. Uh, so you can just find us out on Twitter or LinkedIn, and feel free to reach out to us if you have questions, not only regarding this, but if you have any career related questions where we might be able to help. More than happy. Last but not the least, like I said earlier, we are eager to hear from you. So if there are things that have helped you and have made a difference, we would love to hear from you. It just makes us happy that whatever efforts we've put are kind of fruitful and have helped people in their respective careers. But even on the other side, if there is feedback that you want to share with us, we are all ears and we want to listen to you. So thank you once again, and stay tuned. Like I said, there are a lot of exciting community events happening. There is virtual dreaming, which is happening in May. There is so thank you, and we will meet soon. Before we sign off, don't treat this as the last session. Please continue your learning journey. There is so much to learn every day. So please do continue that. Thank you, and this is the Apex Hours team signing off with this last session of the Dev program. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.